Hello everybody. Before we continue talking about this build, I'd like to say thank you for 200 subscribers. I'm really blown away at how fast this channel's been growing in the past 2 months. I mean, ever since February, I've gone from 70 subscribers to 200, and it's March 26th, which is amazing for me. I mean, it took me 3 years to get 70 subscribers, and now I'm up by a lot in just a few months, you know, just 2 months really, and short months at that. Like February is only 28 days, I think. This isn't a calendar channel, so let's move on to the build. I made this build off of viewer requests during a live stream. I take requests during my live streams, so if that interests you, be sure to subscribe and check out my Crossout streams. I'll take your requests and try my best to implement it. This one is a Star Wars inspired build, believe it or not. The viewers wanted to see a Star Wars inspired build, and as much as this doesn't look Star Wars inspired, it's based on the Hammerhead Corvette that the Rebellion uses in the Star Wars movies. It's one of my favorite ships in the Star Wars universe because it just rams shit, you know. It's awesome. And without further ado, let me show you guys what this thing can do in action and why I decided I would make a video dedicated to a build from a live stream. And if your build request turns out to be something I fall in love with, it will also get a dedicated video for sure. Because when I love things, I like making videos about it. That's just what I do. Alright, without further introduction, let's just show this thing in action. Let's go. So with this round, you'll see the main strategy that I use for this build is to hang around the back and be more of like a rear guard at first, and then you want to charge in when enemies are weaker and the real melee brawl is getting in. You don't want to be the first one in on the attack with this build, unfortunately. You really want to, because you have those rockets on the back end, but it's not wise because you're gonna get destroyed. You can see that I'm trying my best to stay on my wheels, but it pays off because that long front end with all those melee things really held that other melee build at bay. And the odd wheel arrangement doesn't really affect much. I've actually found it to be really good and be comparable to the standard 3x3, you know, 3 on each side wheelbase. Alright, so this guy I get into a bit of a brawl with. Almost every round with this car, eventually I pick someone to brawl with. And it's always someone that I can pick their wheels out. Unfortunately, this guy keeps getting some lucky shots on me. But I chug on. This bad boy chugs on. You'll notice that the train plow in the back is a bit of a shield to protect the generator. I have the generator in the back. I should really put it under the cabin, though. In this clip, you'll see me. I try to mount a side attack, which I think is where this build really shines, is you try to position yourself somewhere along the side of where your team and the other team's going to meet, and then when the other team meets your team, you just ram into someone from the side. It's really effective at helping your team get an upper hand in the skirmish, especially with these like faster people here. Look at that. We just blew that guy. He was an NPC, you know, so he wasn't too distracted, but if that was a player, that would have been more detrimental. We still did some good damage to him on our charge there. And we do some retreating. It's good to have those rockets to, you know, help with acceleration. That way you're not just backing out and just poking the enemy a few times. It's always good to keep this guy occupied. I'm not really concerned about it really at this point because I know I have those melee pieces in the front that thing's gonna have a hard time stripping, and I can do some damage. My teammate saves me there. My front end's still intact. I still have my wheels, but my ramming capability, those days are over. Fortunately, I got good use out of it. You know, you can't really complain. I got the gun, and then we get the victory. Look at that. In this clip, you're going to see me doing some base defense and capping, which is great. I mean, nobody plays the objective really. Let's be honest. But when somebody does play the objective, usually you win. So it's a winning strategy, and you guys are going to see some great play here. One of the things that this part highlights is those rear-mounted guns. I'm a big fan of them because the body really covers and protects those guns. A lot of people neglect trying to protect their main weapons, which I consider the guns in this build. It's made to ram, but let's be honest, the clips I've shown of it ramming aren't the best. It's not the best rammer in the world. It's pretty good at ramming, but it's not the best. You see me getting these sniper shots. I'm definitely covering my team. We take an ambush right here, and you'll see me kind of counteract the ambush. These people are definitely in a party. They coordinated that, but I threw them out. I threw them off. This build is just so wide, and I'm able to control them. I use my rockets to pin these two, and it buys my teammates time to come and save me, which is amazing. I mean, the amount of distance and spacing that this build gives me too. I wasn't really thinking when I built it. It was all cosmetic, but we get the win, and it's pretty amazing. Alright, there we go. Look at that. There's my dog walking by in the audio. Say hi to Daxter. Over the specs on this build. Obviously, there's a bunch of melee in the front end. I got hatchets, I got pipe tooths, I got blade wings, I got bumpers, and then they're all mounted on these, like, on at least 2 parts. If I can, as many parts as I can fit them to mount on. Like this, these are on the frame as well as some armor pieces. And there's actually 4 quarter walls here. Just really thick armoring in the front end, you know, because it needs it. It's going face first into pretty much every combat scenario. And then we'll go around the back. I put some armor around the back end. It's pretty loosely armored. This train plow does a lot of the carrying when it comes to shielding the back end. And it's mounted on a lightweight frame, but I never lose this plow, so that's just fine. There's the rockets, of course. It's got this ampere generator right here. It's got the AC Rapiers in the back guns. You guys have probably been able to tell. I got the back cabin. If you're looking to mimic this build, I would go with the Growl. Make you a little bit lower level, and I'm sure the Growl can handle this. Especially with the Cheetah engine mounted on it. We got the Shiv things. All right, well, let's move forward to showing you guys the balance point. It's balanced right on the cabin. I would have liked it to be a little bit more front end balanced. As things get taken out in the rear, it does get more front end heavy, which is good because when these wheels in the back get taken out, which fortunately doesn't happen often, it's nice. You can drive perfectly fine on those front end wheels. Good God, I absolutely hate these NPCs. Let's they always ram into me and just freaking attack me. It's awful. Alright, and then let's just do some ramming just in target practice, show you guys how it functions. I'll go off a ramp, get some acceleration. Of course, with speed, ramping will be a little bit easier to handle. Oh goodness, we flipped. This is a failure, good God. This might as well be like the blooper reel at the end of my my video. Let's try this one more time. It's probably too wide for the ramps, to be honest. It's like catching the wheel. There we go. That's pretty much what it looks like. Because of the balance point, it's not too heavy on one end or the other. A lot of people will like that. It definitely makes it easier to handle on bumps. Most of my builds will be rear heavy. That way they can, like, they usually will level out if they're rear heavy mid-air. Especially when I build a lot of fast cars. Some of them will be front heavy. Those ones you can't do drop downs like that because you'll just fall on your face and it's not pretty. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate that people spend their time watching this. Hopefully, if you do want to imitate this build, I don't think that's very likely. This was just more of a fun build. You could build it better if you weren't looking to try and mimic a specific style. Of course, I didn't really achieve it, but it's definitely, you can tell it's loosely inspired by the Hammerhead Corvette. If you really like squint hard. Alright, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, share, all that stuff. I do live streams almost every night, and I post stream clips pretty frequently as well. If that sounds like your type of thing, then I'm your type of channel, and I'd love to meet you and see you in a stream. Alright, other than that, thanks for watching. Have a good day.